From Edward Fitzgerald Field in Haddon Heights, we welcome you to South Jersey NABA playoff baseball here on a Sunday morning in mid-November. It's our 74th and final baseball game of the year between the Sicklerville Phillies and the South Jersey Lightning. I'm Dan Wilkins. We've got a good one today here from Haddon Heights. It's a bit chilly, but you know what? It's November. We can't really complain too much about the weather at this time of year for the fact that it's not all that bad. It's not raining. It's not windy. It's certainly not snowing like it's been in the Midwest this week, but it's going to be a fun one tonight here from Haddon Heights. South Jersey Lightning and the Sicklerville Phillies, we saw them in a doubleheader earlier this year where the South Jersey Lightning definitely beat up upon a depleted Sicklerville team. If you remember that doubleheader from early October, Sicklerville started game one with only 8 players. The Lightning left right field unoccupied, and Sicklerville ended up losing the first game 9-1 and the second game 6-4. But tonight it's going to be a little bit different. Both teams have full rosters, and why not? It's the championship game in the AAA division of South Jersey NABA. Ground rules just wrapped up. Ethan Gardner is the starting pitcher for the Sicklerville Phillies. Meanwhile, the hard-throwing right-hander Brian Garcia, aided by his catcher on the far side of your screen, Pete Cornelia, is the starter for the Lightning. We'll take a quick break. We've got starting lineups, pitcher introductions, and first pitch right after this here from Haddon Heights at Edward Fitzgerald Field. Back from Haddon Heights, your starting pitcher for the South Jersey Lightning, the #1 seed in the championship game for the AAA division. Take a look at his stats real quick. Brian Garcia, your starting pitcher stats presented by Harper Driving School. The right-hander has a 3-0 undefeated record this season with 19 hits and 8 earned runs. He also has 8 unearned runs against him. But his biggest blemish, 26 free passes and a total ERA of 2.40. Let's also take a look at the starting lineup for the visitors, the Sicklerville Phillies, the #3 seed. For Sicklerville this morning, they're batting 12 today. Matt Newcomb, the catcher. Jarrett Browning in left field. Nick Napoli of Camden County College is the shortstop. Luke McNone in center field. Waddy Rivera the third at first base. Jagger Lloyd the DH. And then Ethan Gardner, Pat McCann, Nicholas Mermanesh at second. Brandon Chin in EH. Anthony Velez Medina, the manager, at third. And Luke Gardner, the pitcher. South Jersey NABA AAA Championship, 9 a.m. sharp, here from Edward Fitzgerald Field in Haddon Heights. The left-hander Newcomb steps in versus the right-hander Garcia. Crowd filing in on a brisk Sunday fall morning here in mid-November. First pitch is a strike, and we're underway. 55 degrees and mostly cloudy at first pitch for our 74th baseball game of the year. 0-1 to Newcomb. Fouls it back towards the street. And it's 0-2. If you told me when we did our Rutgers-Camden doubleheader on February 22nd versus Immaculata, a doubleheader that they swept in 14 innings, the weather was 34 degrees that day. If you told me that our last baseball game of the year will be on November 9th, I would have called you crazy. But 74 games later, with games in 11 different counties this season and 3 different states, really fun to have this opportunity come to an end in the Men's League Championship here for South Jersey's NABA chapter. Garcia with a pitch in the dirt. Now he's got a 1-2. And a breaking ball outside corner called strike 3. And Garcia picks up a strikeout for his first of the day, first of the morning, out number 1. Here's Jarrett Browning. When we first got introduced to the Sicklerville Phillies back in late September, in the fall division, we saw them tie versus the South Jersey Eagles. It was a 6-6 game. This will be the 4th time we're seeing the Sicklerville Phillies this year as he takes one low. 1 ball, no strikes. But for Sicklerville, they actually tied that game, which is their only tie of the year, at 5-5-1. That one is low. Like 2 balls, no strikes. Strike called. Working on fixing the score bug. It's got it backwards. We'll fix that at the end of the top of the first. Looks like 3 balls, 1 strike. So yes, the Phillies are the away team, but the last time we covered them, it was a doubleheader, and both teams split their home and away duties. 3-1 to Jarrett Browning. It's ball 4. Good take that time by Jarrett Browning. That fastball low and away in a hitter's count can be so tempting, but now he sets it up for Nick Napoli. The graduate of Timber Creek. Of course, Napoli we've covered not necessarily at the high school level, but funny enough, we mentioned it before, Nick Napoli hit the first ever grand slam in DWB baseball history. It was back in 2023. Actually, no, 2024 in his freshman season at Camden County. Misses low that time. Napoli hit that grand slam in a 13-1 win over Lehigh Carbon back on March the 30th of 2024. Misses low. Of course, Lehigh Carbon doesn't offer any athletics anymore, so they're 1 team down in the NJCAA JUCO circuit for Region 19. 2 balls, no strikes to Napoli. But Napoli, the graduate of Timber Creek with the head coach John Cates. Throwback to first, not in time. Michael Sr. tagging the bag at first base as Browning's helmet fell off, but he was able to stay on the bag. Napoli and then Rivera on deck. Actually, looks like Mignon and then Rivera. But a runner on first, we talked about how Garcia was going to be having to navigate some traffic in this first inning. 26 walks in his 4 games this year, 30 innings pitched. There's a strike called, 2-1. And that fastball in the upper half can definitely be something that Napoli, with his tall frame, can certainly take advantage of if he so chooses, but he does like to hit the ball in the lower half of the zone. Although that time, right around middle, Napoli fouled it back, 2-2. Sicklerville 5-5-1, third in the South Jersey NABA AAA division. The Lightning at 9-0-2. Technically unbeaten, but not undefeated, if you will. Outside. Napoli agrees with the home plate umpire, and the entirety of the Lightning do not. It's 3-2. But if Sicklerville can get some runners on the bases, I mean, this game could look entirely different from what we saw in the doubleheader back in October. As here's the full count payoff. Napoli swings and misses. He got him. 2 away. Napoli goes down on strikes for Garcia's first strikeout of the afternoon, and now it sets up Luke Mignon. Haven't seen a ball put in play yet, for what it's worth. Upstairs. So my apologies, 2 strikeouts for Garcia and a walk. Browning the only runner so far. Upstairs. 2 balls, no strikes. Plate discipline's going to be big for Sicklerville. That's something that they struggled with dearly in their doubleheader sweep, or doubleheader being swept against South Jersey, the Lightning. That's just going to be how it is. Here's 2-0. At the knees, called a strike. That lower half of the zone is going to be big for Brian Garcia to command. If he can get the lower half of the zone going, it might be difficult for Sicklerville to get the bats on the ball. Just with how it is. But Garcia really likes to pound that fastball in there for great command as he gets another strike. Comes back from a 2-0 count, makes it 2-2. Jordan Van and Omar Moore, your first 2 for the Lightning. The 1-2 punch in the bottom of the first inning here in Haddon Heights. Here's the 2-2. Low. 3-2. It's the umpteenth time so far that he's worked himself into a full count, and this could be trouble for the Lightning, even if it doesn't look that menacing now. If Garcia keeps working up that pitch count, it might not be all that easy for him to go the distance in this game. He has thrown a lot of complete games this year. 3-0 with a save. 3-2 is called. Strike 3. Outside corner, and despite a walk, Garcia gets out of it unscathed with 3 strikeouts in the top of the first. The Lightning send Sicklerville down mostly in order, with the exception of a Jarrett Browning walk. We'll be right back, and after a half frame here in Haddon Heights, it's the Lightning 0 and the Phillies 0. Lightning coming to bat after this.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that our friends, family, and anybody who we hold dear in our lives is feeling well. The problem with spotting mental health issues is that the symptoms aren't that obvious. Just because someone is okay or appears okay on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside. It's important that if they are in distress, that they call the right people and they get the help that they need. And it is very important that we treat each other with respect, regardless of who you are or where you come from. But it is just as important that we treat ourselves with respect, regardless of the situation going on in our lives. If you're in distress, you can call this number, 988, or you can visit any of these websites if you're not in distress, but would like to learn more information about mental health awareness and research.
Bottom of the first inning, we are working to get we have the starting lineups. We're just a little bit swamped in getting them actually on the screen, but good news is that we have everything fixed, and now Sicklerville and South Jersey Lightning are on the right path. Jordan Van leads us off for the Lightning. Luke Gardner, the starter for the Phillies. What I like about Jordan Van as a leadoff hitter, I think he definitely brings that spark to the team and brings a lot to the table that otherwise really wouldn't be noticed too much. Misses 1-0. No score after a half frame. Popped up, out of play, 1-1. We'll riff off the first three for you so far. Jordan Van, Omar Moore in in center field, and then Max Worsta. Strike called by Gardner, or to Gardner, from Gardner to Van. When you've called 74 baseball games, you're bound to make a mistake here and then, but it's 1-2. Gardner, the right-hander, donning number 48, fouls it back. Still pretty traditional for pitchers these days to wear double digits. I know one of the big exceptions back in the day, not back in the day, but about 10 years ago was Marcus Stroman, when the Blue Jays were incredibly potent year after year. But now today's example of it is Blake Snell of the Dodgers wearing number 7. Here's the 1-2. Van takes a fastball high, drills it foul. Van fouling off a couple pitches here, really showing some resiliency. That's the one thing we didn't really see from Sicklerville versus Brian Garcia in the top of the first, was that they really were just fanning at things. Don't even think there was one or two balls put in play. 1-2 is high. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Moore, the center fielder, is next. Two. Strike 3 called on the inside corner. And Gardner picks up his first strikeout. They tried to throw it around the diamond, didn't go as planned, but Van goes down looking. It's 0-1, or rather, 1 away. Here's Omar Moore. Here's Omar Moore, first pitch, breaking ball. Called a strike, 0-1. As we mentioned, we've been here plenty of times. I mean, I've played on this field before. About 6 years ago, I would say, when I was in 8th grade. Wait, no, that doesn't make any sense. 6 years ago with 8th grade, I would probably still be in high school, I guess, but that was about 2018, so about 7 years ago at this point. But I played fall ball here for Haddon Heights. Audubon, my alma mater, didn't have a fall ball team. A swing and a miss by Moore. And I wanted to play, and I think everybody knows the stereotype of the Little League right fielder. I was in right field, but I wasn't at the bottom of the order like some of the other kids were. I was getting a couple hits here and then, but I wasn't very athletic. As Moore rips a ball. That's an athletic hit down the left field line. Moore is going to rip it towards the corner. Here comes the throw from the Browning left fielder. He's going to stop at first with a long single. That is great awareness that time by Omar Moore to kind of know your limits. As a base runner, you have to know where your boundaries are, and if you don't have the confidence to go to second base, it's not a good idea to even try it. Even in a low-stakes part of this game, it's a championship game. Every out matters, and if you don't get it right that time, we could go back and say, well, Omar Moore getting thrown out at second base cost the Lightning this, that, or the other thing. Here's Max Worsta. We've seen him with the long ball earlier this year. It was actually during the summer campaign, as Worsta swung like he wanted a long ball that time. He homered in the Lightning 11-6 loss to the South Jersey Diamondbacks in the NABA summer or I think it was the spring wild card round. They were down 11-3 at one point. Lightning got 3 runs back thanks to Worst's home run. Sicklerville wanted to play a little bit of games with the hidden ball trick, but dug out on the third base line. Having that line of sight, wasn't having any fun with it. Or wasn't having any of it, that should say. It works sometimes, just not all the time. 0-1. Worst swings at one right around his shoulder blade. It's 0-2. Moore with the first hit of the game for either side. And player manager Donovan Schmidt is next as that ball. Wadi Rivera is just trying to get Omar Moore out by any chance that he can get. He's pulling off the Miguel Cabrera. He's pulling himself off the bag, trying to deke the runner, but again, the third base dugout staying alert. Now Moore goes. Here's the 0-2. Throw down to second. It's on a line, but it's towards center field, and he's safe. Throw got away from Brandon Chin, the second base, or not Chin, the second baseman. It got past Napoli. And it's now 1-2. So Moore swipes a bag at second base, and maybe there was a rhyme and reason as to why they wanted Omar Moore to stay at first or wanted him out. Up high, 2-2. Newcomb behind the dish for Gardner tonight. Rivera at first base. And then Nicholas Mermanesh at second. Nick Napoli at short. Velez Medina at third. Strike 3 called. That lower half of the zone is going to be called. We've seen it in the top of the first inning, and it's just going to have to matter that way. Second strikeout for Gardner, both looking, 2 away. Here's Donovan Schmidt. Donning his Ray-Ban Meta glasses. I really wish that I could connect those to Bluetooth and get a player cam that way, but there's a strike called, 0-1. Schmidt, the player manager of the Lightning, formed this club in late 2024, early 2025. Gardner, the 0-1. Low and away. Home plate umpire stays stoic in that one. It's a ball, 1-1. But here from Edward Fitzgerald Field, just behind, well, once the tree leaves go away for winter, you'll be able to clearly see 295 from here. Appeal down to second says no. It is actually interesting because during the summer, the sound of 295 is a lot more muffled. You can hear it a lot more clearly now in the fall. Here's the 2-1. 2-2. But the ambience of cars speeding up and slowing down, of course, where you can see the road sign is where exit 28 of 295 is. 2 strikeouts for Gardner. He looks for a third. The 2-2. Schmidt taps it. Out to, Gardner whiffs on it, throws to first. Now Moore will have to hold up at third. That's going to be a tough decision there as Schmidt gets to first base on a gaff by Gardner. Moore will hold at third, and now it's going to be Vargas the batter. I mean, that was a slow dribbler, not really up the line that time, but just to Gardner's left, and he just kind of whiffed on it. Didn't really have much of a chance there, and now it sets up first and third. In my book, it's going down as an E1. We'll clarify with the Lightning at the end of the frame. But Gardner now dealing with heavy traffic, and we're not talking about on the highway above. You've got runners on first and third. Now for Luis Vargas, the shortstop, batting into 5 position for the Lightning. We've had a strikeout, a single, another strikeout at the hands of Max Worsta, and now an E1, thanks to Luke Gardner. Gardner, the first pitch, swing and a miss by Vargas, 0-1. In the 6-team AAA division of South Jersey NABA, as we said, the Lightning first, the Phillies third, as there's a swing and a miss, 0-2. First 3 for the Phillies in the top of the second will be Rivera, Napoli, and Ethan Gardner, the extra hitter. No balls, 2 strikes. Gardner, the 0-2. Strike 3 right down the pipe, and that's 3 strikeouts looking. If the ball's not put in play, the home plate umpire makes the last call. 3 strikeouts in the first inning for both Brian Garcia and Luke Gardner. We're scoreless after 1 here in Haddon Heights. Jersey is the number 2 seed. As we said, they beat Manville 19-0 in the first round, which was even larger than Audubon's 16-0 win over Paulsboro as the 1 seed in the first round. That one's hit out towards center field, straight away. Oh, she misjudged it. Got over her head in center field. Now this one's got a chance to be 3 bases for Spire. She's flying around third. Here comes the throw to the plate. It is not in time. What a way to kick off a semifinal with an inside the park home run. Emma Spire, who will take her talents to the Great Danes after 2026, lights up the scoreboard with a fly ball that got misjudged in center field. And it gets past everybody. Graham will go back to position with no goal scored. They'll count down the time out loud here. Out to the left. One final shot, and it gets through. How about a buzzer beater? How do you do? It's a lead extending goal for Justin Lewis. No score after 1 in Haddon Heights. I'm Dan Wilkins. You're watching coverage of the South Jersey NABA AAA Division, the National Adult Baseball Association, on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting. It's inside to Wadi Rivera from Garcia to start the second inning. We're playing 9 today. As we mentioned, more or less this will be our last baseball game of the year. And like I said, if you told me in mid-February when we covered Rutgers-Camden versus Immaculata that our last baseball game of the year would be on November 9th, I would have called you crazy. I would have said, there's no way. But here we are, 74 games later. Garcia up and out. I think now Sicklerville is starting to really set in the importance of plate discipline. We've seen 6 strikeouts combined by both pitchers. Garcia and Luke Gardner both struck out 3 in the first inning. But again, batters are going to have to watch for that lower half. It's going to be called, and it's going to be called well. And when these guys are right on their mark, Garcia is a fastball-heavy pitcher. Gardner's a little bit more of a mixed bag when it comes to his repertoire. But Garcia's going to throw those fastballs, and you don't really know which part of the zone it's going to go in. It's not really all that predictable. These batters are going to have to lay off until they find something they like. The 3-1. Rivera did find something he liked, but he wavered at it. It's 3-2. Rivera, Lloyd, and Gardner. 5, 6, and 7 for the Sicklerville Phillies. The payoff. Swing and a miss. He got him. That's 4 strikeouts for Garcia. This could very well turn into a pitcher's duel this morning as Sicklerville has struck out 4 times and they have yet to put a ball in play. Here's Jagger Lloyd. And when pitchers are in a rhythm early, when they're in a rhythm and when you're 5 batters in and you haven't put a ball in play, it really kind of dampens Sicklerville's or any team's ability to have that ability going forward. And I think that's what people need to stress here is that, when you haven't put a ball in play in 5 straight batters, it's kind of like a streak. It's almost like a losing streak, and you need to find somebody to break the streak. He did make contact that time on a rare breaking ball from Garcia, and it's 0-2. It's not necessarily rare, but Garcia is certainly going to hammer the fastball into the zone. He's going to dot it very well at the start of the at-bat. But we'll see what he's got. He's got an 0-2 count. Lloyd got a piece of the breaking ball. Looked like a slider that time away. Garcia to Lloyd. The 0-2. Fouled back. Manager Anthony Velez Medina giving good sound advice, shorten up on 0-2, and I think that's especially important with the fact that, again, Sicklerville has not put a ball in play. They've struck out 4 times and have walked once. It's not easy to come back from that, especially in this part of the game, in a championship game, no less. He does put it in play. He does shorten up. Ground ball to third. Van is there. Throw across is in time to senior, and there's 2 away. That at least is something for Sicklerville, though. They put the ball in play. They showed that they can hit off of Brian Garcia, and they at least have something to show for it. But with 2 away now, here's Ethan Gardner. 7th batter of the ball game. Looks like the right fielder McCann Jr. is on deck. Pat McCann Jr. First pitch, inside. Almost grazed Gardner that time, but he's able to stick around and stick off. Cornelia, the catcher for the Lightning, the defensive lineman. It looks like Mikey Sr. at first base. Then it would be, I can't tell who that is down there, but we do know Luis Vargas is at short. Jordan Van at third. Donovan Schmidt, the manager, in center field, or rather in left field. Omar Moore in center. Max Wersta in right. Low, 2-0. Lightning brought up 5 batters in the bottom of the first inning. They got 1 hit and reached on an error, but left 2 on and were scoreless. 2 balls, no strikes to Ethan Gardner. Garcia kicks and delivers. That one's low. And again, this is going to be an issue with Garcia. He allowed 26 free passes, 26 walks going into this game. He's already allowed 1. And even though he's picked up 4 strikeouts, which I can commend him for, his pitch count is definitely up for the fact that in his first 7 at-bats, 4 have gone to full counts. 3-0. And that's upstairs. 4-pitch walk to Ethan Gardner, and that now sets up Pat McCann. We mentioned second walk of the day allowed by Garcia, and it puts a runner on first base. McCann, the left-hander, steps in, playing right field today for the Phillies. Strike called. 0-1. So we mentioned 4 of the first 7 at-bats for Brian Garcia ended in a full count. Now he gets off to a hot start. It's 0-2. Sometimes pitchers are like that. They are so two-faced where they can have 1 at-bat where they just cannot find the zone, and then they just take a deep breath, regather, and get back in. Here's the 0-2. Working extremely fast, and McCann gets jammed. Gets past Van. Now back out to Vargas. Throw to first. As in time. That'll retire the side, as that was a nice one to retire the side. Jordan Van whiffed on it, but Luis Vargas was able to get the job done. We go to the bottom of the second here in Haddon Heights. It's Sicklerville 0 and Haddon Heights 0. Or rather, South Jersey Lightning 0. 1.5 innings down here from Haddon Heights. No score. First pitch from Luke Gardner is fouled back. Look out. Oh, and 1 to Senior, the first baseman. Senior, okay, they're going to award a hit by pitch. Wasn't sure what happened there, but Senior said that he got hit. Sounded like it. I mean, I've got a parabolic microphone right behind home plate, and it sounded like I heard a thud to me. Here's Ruben Castellano. Strike called. Excuse me, Ruben Justiniano. I apologize. Gardner looking to get back into it. He gave up a hit and an error in the first. Yo, 2, swing and a miss. Justiniano down on strikes. 1, 2, 3, and that's strikeout number 4 for Gardner. The Lightning with a runner on first and 1 away. Upstairs, 1-0. Again, the Lightning's only hit and the game's only hit so far was a line drive to left by Omar Moore. He wanted to extend it to a double, but he held up. Shamir Pace, left field. That is deep. Oh! Send him the bill. It's 1-1. That one went straight into the parking lot. Somebody who parked there thought they were safe, but Shaheem Pace is the batter, and you are not safe when Shaheem Pace is batting. Pace, a 2017 grad of Salem Regional. After Shalleck's head coach departed from Salem in 2012, there's a swing and a miss, 1 and 2. Pace with over a 300 hitter in his senior season with Salem. Salem never really considered a powerhouse in Tri-County, really not in the past 12, 13 years. Often lined up in the Classic division with small schools like Pittman, Pennsgrove, Wildwood. And there's strike 3. That's 5 strikeouts as Shaheem Pace goes down. Well, somebody's got to come out of that dugout. Our lineup has Pete Cornelia, but you know what? He's the catcher, so he's got to take off those pads. Cornelia hitting in the 9 slot. One. Working quickly, though, trying to find a solution. Throw back to first. We do finally have that lineup card fixed. If Cornelia gets on base here, we'll show it. I mean, we're basically through the whole lineup anyway, but we might as well introduce them to you. Jordan Van at second base, Omar Moore in center field, Max Wersta in the DH slot, Donovan Schmidt in left, Luis Vargas at short, Michael Senior at first base, Ruben Justiniano the DH, Shaheem Pace at third, Pete Cornelia is the catcher, and Elian Seda, another DH. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Again, we apologize it took so long, but game changer only goes so far, and I try to have the best accuracy with these as I can. 2 strikes from Gardner. Cornelia, right center field. This one's a little floater. Chin going back. It's diving. McCann can't get there. Senior on his horse to third. He's going to dive in safely, and it'll be a base hit with 2 outs for Pete Cornelia. They will ask for the runner for the catcher. That should be the last batted out, which would be Justiniano, or rather Pace. That should be Shaheem Pace, the last batted out, and it will be. But great piece of hitting there by Cornelia. A lot of times, men's league baseball is by no means flattering. It is an unvarnished, sometimes unpolished piece of baseball, but sometimes it still comes back to rear its head in some great ways. And in that situation, Cornelia fouled off a couple pitches. He was at 2-2 and just floated it over the second baseman's head, and it was a tough drop for McCann in right field. The runner Pace goes, and he gets to second base easily. So now 2 runners in scoring position. Had a feeling Pace might be able to run there. He had 25 stolen bases in his career as a Salem Ram just about 10 years ago. And now there's a ground ball by Seda, but a sliding stop by Rivera, and that will end the inning. The Lightning leave 2 runners on for the second inning in a row as a sharp ground ball by the 10-hitter Seda gets us out of the jam. We remain scoreless through 2. We told you this would be different than when we saw these 2 teams last. No score after 2.
Book Dog Pro Wrestling for your next event or outing for the greatest action that New Jersey Pro Wrestling has to offer. Any place, any time, any setting, Dog Pro Wrestling will bring the action to you, and you won't want to miss it for moments like this. But don't just take it from me. Take it from Max Mundo, the Dog Pro Wrestling ambassador.
This is Max Mundo with Dog Pro Wrestling. Are you a civic organization, sporting club looking to fundraise? Then look no further to Dog Pro Wrestling. We do grand openings, corporate events, and much more.
And why not from some of the wrestling talent themselves?
I'm Vinny the Fixer, and I'm the champion of Dog Professional Wrestling. If you want to book the best, come see us. We're the cream of the crop. We'll come to any fundraiser you can think of. Just name the place and we'll show up.
This is the upstanding Dylan Mesh, and for the entirety of my professional wrestling career, dog wrestling has been a mainstay for where I like to wrestle. So you can believe me when I say that it is quality. And I'm upstanding. I'm the only opinion you need.
Yeah! It's your boy Gabriel Hodder here with my man Matthew Oman, and if you want your events to be all fight, no flight,
then book Dog Wrestling so you can witness true primal fear. Woo!
Welcome back from Edward Fitzgerald Field. This broadcast is brought to you by Harper Driving School. Over 90% of students who take their New Jersey State driving test with Harper Driving School pass on the first attempt. Book an appointment today at Suite 4 to Total Turf Complex in Pittman at 614 Lambs Road. It was mostly cloudy this morning. That was when you saw the B-roll video just a couple seconds ago, but Nick Murmanesh fouls it back, 0-1 to start the third. But now it's actually partly sunny. Sun shining through beyond the left field foul pole, and a lot of clouds rolling out this morning. Again, it was 55 degrees when we started, but we're slowly getting into the groove now. Here's the 0-1. Misses away. Garcia's had a great track record so far. With the exception of 2 walks, he has not allowed any hits and has just put 2 balls in play. 4 strikeouts in 2 frames. Murmanesh pops it up, third base side. Garcia calls for it, and he dives, but Jordan Van comes up with it. Kind of an unusual play. That's not really the pitcher's ball, and there's one away. That was intriguing right there. I mean, Garcia definitely had the confidence. Maybe he saw it better than Van, but the sun really wasn't in their eyes. The sun is mostly to their backs. And Murmanesh pops out to the third baseman. But that could have been trouble there. I mean, sometimes when pitchers get really confident sometimes that they can catch the ball or they can throw the ball, they can field the ball. But I'll tell you one case where that doesn't apply. If you're a Phillies fan, not these Phillies, the Philadelphia Phillies, think of Orion Kerkering. How did the Phillies season end? Because of that. Pitchers sometimes just don't have it. Take by Murmanesh. Camera having to adjust to the bright lights of baseball. And on a big stage here at Edward Fitzgerald Field. Strike called. Two balls and one strike to the 10-hitter Brandon Chin. Strike called. Brandon Chin actually set a record on Dan Wilkins Broadcasting when he pitched in early October for the most strikeouts by a relief pitcher. He struck out 10 in relief in their 6-6 tie versus the South Jersey Eagles. Here's the 2-2. There's a swing and a miss. He got him. Make that 5 Ks for Brian Garcia, and that is the second out of the third. Here's the player manager, Anthony Velez Medina. That one misses well outside that time and to the backstop. That's the one disadvantage of the shotgun mic that we have, that we just added to our repertoire, is that when a ball hits the chain link fence, it sounds like an explosion went off. Sounds like nuclear fallout when he throws a wild pitch. Two balls, no strikes. Upstairs, 3-0. Again, this is what we were talking about with Brian Garcia. Could be an issue at times tonight. 3-0. That's ball 4. That's the second time tonight that Garcia has walked a batter on 4 pitches. And now here will be Luke Gardner, the number 12 hitter. Again, kind of like the old National League. The pitcher would bat last, and for a pitcher that's already had a good track record tonight, I mean, he's had a good track record, but it's been awfully two-sided. 5 strikeouts, no hits, but yet 3 walks. And this is what we were talking about. Garcia he keeps doing this. He walked Velez Medina on 4 pitches, and if he throws a strike here, it's going to be the second time that he'll have followed a 4-pitch walk with an 0-2 count in the next at-bat. Not so lucky there. It's 1-1. But no score here in the top of the third in the South Jersey NABA Championship. Last time these two teams played was on October the 12th in a doubleheader across the street at Joseph Servino Field. It was a rainy morning. Sicklerville and South Jersey played their doubleheader. The Lightning won both games. First one was 9-1. The second one was 6-4. Sicklerville left the bases loaded in that second game to fall. Up high, 2-2. With the Lightning going through their first 10, Van, Moore, and Worsta, 1-2-3, will be the top of the card in the bottom of the third. 2-2 from Garcia. Fouled back off the chain link fence apparatus over towards the first base line. Newcomb does have his shin guards on and his catcher's gear on in the dugout in case he is tasked to hit. Saw that with Pete Cornelia earlier. He got to bat with 2 outs and got a bloop single out of it, but the Lightning have left 4 runners on, and if Velez Medina's left on first, the Lightning will have left 3 runners on in 3 innings. So neither team is perfect. And there's strike 3. Curveball drops in, and Brian Garcia with a half dozen to his name. Through the first 3 innings of work, he's looked very well. Despite his 3 walks, those are the only balls that he has allowed so far, because he's just been rolling ever since. 6 strikeouts for Gardner. We go to the bottom of the 3rd. It's the Phillies and Lightning tied at 0. Ogley to end the day for Luke Pokrovsky. A little pop-up, first base side. He calls for it. And for the first time in 33 years, the Charlotte Cougars will hoist the trophy and face Middlesex on Monday. 4-3. Cougars win it. And in the battle of green and gold, the trophy stays true with the visitors. What a finish! And Shalleck will pack their bags for Middlesex and the Blue Jays when the weekend turns around to Monday. Well, Luke Gardner was surely a tall task facing the 1, 2, and 3 batters for the Lightning, although he didn't do too badly through their first rotation of the order. We've got no score in the bottom of the 3rd. It's the South Jersey NABA AAA Division Championship. It's Van, Moore, and Worsta. Van struck out his first time. So did Worsta. Moore sandwiched them with a line drive base hit to left. Through the first 2.5 innings, the only hit of the game. Up and in. The schedule for next week for Dan Wilkins Broadcasting: on Tuesday, November the 11th, on Veterans Day, we have a JUCO men's basketball matchup as Van gets jammed out towards second base. Murmanesh is there. Throw to first is in time. Van tried to beat him down the bag, but the speedy leadoff man was no match. And there's one away. Here's Omar Moore after the 4-3 ground out. But we were mentioning we have JUCO basketball on Tuesday, November the 11th, between the Union Owls and the RCSJ Gloucester Roadrunners. We've got crossover Thanksgiving tune-up football on Wednesday, November the 12th, between my alma mater, the Audubon Green Wave, and the Pittman Panthers. 6 p.m. kickoff from Davis Field in Pittman. Moore takes a strike. On Friday, November the 14th, we come back with youth football. It's the 14U Turkey Bowl in WJYFL between the Haddon Township Hawks and the Eastern Vikings. From Voorhees, 7 p.m. kickoff. And then on Saturday, more JUCO basketball. A men and women's doubleheader in Deptford Township. It's the Luzerne County Trailblazers and the RCSJ Gloucester Roadrunners. The women tip off at 12, and the men's game tips off at 2:30-ish, depending on how long the women's game takes. The 1-1. Moore, sharp grounder to third. Same spot as last time, but that's going to get bobbled, and that'll be an error at third. He got eaten up that time, and even on the hard hit, that'll be the second error against the Phillies. And now it'll be Max Worsta. Here's Max Worsta. Throw back to first, not in time. Swing and a miss. Oh and 1. Another throwback to first, not in time. Keeping an eye on Omar Moore, who, again, quite a speedy guy with Van and Moore as the 1-2 punch. Worsta, swing and a miss, 0-2. A third pickoff attempt. Remember, there's no limit to how many pickoffs you can do, unlike in Major League Baseball. You can only have 2 per at bat. Moore had a knee down at first. He'll get up, he'll be okay, but making sure the runner's all right. I'm not sure what all happened down there, but looks like everybody's all cool. No balls, 2 strikes to Worsta. Gardner with a handful of strikeouts already, but now Worsta gets jammed. Moore is going to have to keep us. Oh, he's going to get out. No, wow, what a mistake. That was a crucial mistake that time, as Worsta is going to let this one drop for a base hit. Moore had to wait for the ball to drop to run, and wisely so. I really couldn't believe that he got a base hit out of that. Here's Donovan Schmidt. So 2 on, 1 away, and here's Schmidt. Upstairs, 1-0. Taking a look at that one more time. Seeing if we can maybe get at least a little bit of something out of this. He pops it up. Looking over towards second base, you could see Moore starts to go there. Ball drops. He doesn't even look at it, and then the first baseman's just, he's standing there. Schmidt fouls it back over towards Vargas in the on-deck circle, and it's 1-1. One ball, 1 strike. Swing and a miss. That did not seem like a very characteristic swing for Donovan Schmidt there. I mean, he wavered at one, kind of hesitated that time. Pitch was a little bit upstairs. And now Schmidt down in the count, 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. Gardner on the way. Schmidt, low fastball on the ground. Napoli looks for 2. Doesn't have a play, and the bases are loaded. Napoli lost the ball on the transfer, and that will be an error, and that will load the bases for Luis Vargas. Not an easy pill to swallow for Nick Napoli there, but 2 errors in 3 batters. It's the second time Schmidt has reached on an error today. I mean, that was a slow roller. He could have gotten the out at first. Maybe the out at second would have been difficult. But he bobbles the ball, and the bases are loaded for Luis Vargas. 1 away. Bottom of the 3rd, no score. Vargas wavers at 1, and it's foul. That's a little surprising there. I thought that was a little bit out of Vargas's reach. But if you can put the ball in play, with Sicklerville already committing 3 errors in this game, it'll be an interesting case study to see how it will work out, because runs will be a premium in this game, as we've seen already. The Lightning have left 4 runners on base, and a double play could leave them with a total of 7. Through 3 innings, that one's up and in. It's 1-1. As soon as that fastball left his hand, you could feel the gasps fill the air. But Vargas was unfazed and, most importantly, not hit. Here's the 1-1. Vargas inside, but he swings at it. 1-2. Yeah, Vargas just seems a little inconsistent right now in his hitting selection here, and most importantly in his swing selection. First pitch swung at one that was well outside of the zone. I wouldn't say well outside of the zone. That would be a bit egregious, but still outside the zone to his right. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Van trying to jump off third. 2-2. Excuse me, that's Moore. 3 straight runners have reached. Moore on third. Van running for Worsta at second base, and then Schmidt running at first. Although with the bases loaded, really nowhere to go. Nobody really trailing that heavily. Vargas foul. Makes sense. Really doesn't make any kind of sense for people to guard this all too closely. It's not like anybody can steal a base here unless a ball gets away, but the backstop isn't even that big to allow for wild pitches to score. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Gardner in his biggest jam yet. Vargas, foul tip, he got him. 2 away. Man, he's frustrated about that one, but I don't blame him. I mean, that was a tough swing. Kind of had an at-bat where it looked like it was going to be an arbitrary selection no matter what. That's strikeout number 6 in 2 2/3 for Luke Gardner, the right-hander, donning the retro Phillies cap with the maroon P. Some in the field wearing the standard bright red. But it's men's league. It can be interpreted a little bit. No balls, 1 strike. Gardner, senior, fouls it back. It's 0-2. Well, this opportunity, this outcome did not seem all that likely. But now the Lightning are 1 strike away from leaving the bases loaded and leaving 7 runners on base in the first 3 innings. Senior versus Gardner. Gardner shakes off his catcher Newcomb, gets a new signal, gets into his ready to go. Got him! He'll have to tag home, and he's out. What a break for Luke Gardner. Bases loaded and nobody out, and he gets out of the jam with 7 runners left on base by the Lightning in the first 3 innings. We somehow remain scoreless here in Haddon Heights. It's the Phillies and the Lightning tied up at 0. Newcomb on the first pitch of the 4th, skies it to deep right field. And it's caught by Omar Moore back at the wall. 1 away. It's not that deep out there. It's only 348 feet to right center field. I think this park looks menacingly large because of the fact that the only fences wrapping around the stadium are chain link fences, and when you just see the bare trees, you think that this stadium could go on forever and ever, but it's only 300 down the left field line. Can't even see the marker for the right field line, but I can't imagine it's a lot longer than that. And then 349 to left and right center. 365 to the deepest part of the park in center, although there is a much larger fence backing you up in center, kind of like the old Rogers Center used to be in Toronto. Jarrett Browning is the batter after the flyout by Newcomb. Browning puts it in play. Senior gets it himself and carries it to first for out number 2. So 2 up, 2 down in the fourth. Newcomb flew out to center field, trailing towards right center, and then Browning grounded out to first. Now it'll be Nick Napoli. Swing and a miss by Napoli. The South Jersey Eagles were 6-4-1. They were second in the NABA division, but lost to Sicklerville for Sicklerville's bid in the finals. Three of the top 5 players for the hit leaders in South Jersey NABA this year were all with the South Jersey Lightning. Omar Moore has 17, so does Max Worsta, and Donovan Schmidt has 14. The Eagles occupied spots 4 through 6. And then the leading hitter for the Phillies is Ethan Gardner, who only has 7. Look out into the street below. And that puts him in 13th. But in between that, there's 5 Lightning players in that division. Jordan Van in 7th, Michael Senior in 9th, and then a handful of South Jersey Eagles. But 9 of the top 10 hitters, in terms of hits, just total hits in South Jersey NABA Division AAA, 9 of the top 10 are either the South Jersey Lightning or the South Jersey Eagles. Sicklerville's best hitter comes in 13th. But they're trying to make a case for an upset in the championship today as the 3 seed. Swing and a miss, he got him. 1-2-3 inning for Brian Garcia. He is grooving. Doesn't really have anybody else to challenge him. We go to the bottom of the 4th inning here in Haddon Heights at Fitzgerald Memorial Field. It's the Phillies and the Lightning tied up at 0 apiece. Dugout for the South Jersey Lightning, donning the country flag of La República Dominicana in the bottom of the 4th inning here, as Justiniano rips it foul. That might hit the same car that Shaheem Pace hit a couple innings ago. I just can't believe we're still scoreless. 7 runners left on base for the Lightning. As the 0-1 is a swing and a miss, it's 0-2. Seven, 8, 9, Justiniano, Pace, and Cornelia. He's going to change his bat. I didn't see it break, but I guess it must have cracked on the foul ball there. He now switches to a bright orange bat for the 0-2 against Gardner. Swing and a miss. So the orange bat did not do him any favors there as Justiniano strikes out for the 2nd time today. He's only seen 6 pitches, and all 6 of them have been strikes. Here's Shaheem Pace. He struck out looking his first time. Gardner now with 7 strikeouts, and, well, I would say Brian Garcia is pretty much in the same boat. He's got 6 through 3 innings. It's been really, or rather through 4 innings. It's been super impressive watching these guys work today. Because this could be a pitcher's duel. When we saw these two in regular season play, it did not look like there was any chance if these two met in the playoffs it was going to be a pitcher's duel. But alas, it is. Pace up and in, 2-0. Pace still wearing the green belt that he donned when he played for the South Jersey Spartans, a team that we covered in 2024, in the fall of 2024, when they lost 12-2 to Tanky's Tavern in a league that they no longer are a part of, the SJMSBL. After the swing and miss, Newcomb and Gardner going to talk it out. Gardner's got a smile on his face, and I would say he's pretty rightful in doing so, even though Sicklerville's defense has let up 3 errors, 7 strikeouts, and just 2 hits. 1 to Moore, 1 to Worsta. Actually, no, 3 hits, a third to Cornelia. But still, a shutout effort so far. Sicklerville's playing with their most loaded roster yet. They have 12 players batting. They have 15 total dressed today. And if you consider the fact, I mean, we covered the Paulsboro Red Raiders football team on Saturday. They had 16 players suspended due to a fight that happened between Woodbury and Paulsboro. As here's Pace to straightaway left field. Browning is there, 2 away. But if you consider the fact that in the Paulsboro football game on Saturday, 22 players were dressed. There's 15 on the Sicklerville side right now. They're not that far off from a Group 1 football team. 2 away for Cornelia. He blooped a 2-out single to right in the 2nd inning. Cornelia takes the first pitch for a strike, 0-1. Cornelia ropes the ball to left field. Browning turns around, and he's got it. Tucks it in his glove. A great catch that time, and the side is retired. As we go to the top of the 5th inning, we're almost halfway home already, and no runner has touched home plate. We'll be right back. It's the Sicklerville Phillies 0 and the South Jersey Lightning 0 here from Haddon Heights. Home plate umpire dusts off home plate, and, well, one of these teams are hoping that one of their runners will cross home plate. We're 4 innings through, no score yet. The batter being McNone. 4, 5, and 6, McNone, Rivera, and Jagger Lloyd. As Garcia stepping in with 6 strikeouts in 4 innings, he has not allowed any hits to this point. Sicklerville looking to get their first. Of course, we talked with manager Donovan Schmidt before the game, and Elian Seda, that one's upstairs. Seda apparently was in consideration to start the game, but he had thrown back-to-back complete games, including in the semifinal where he struck out 12. 1-0. Fastball, low. Again, that was just beneath that threshold that time. This home plate umpire has been calling a lot in the lower half. Now, to be fair, they're strikes, but you do see some umpires that lay off the lower half of the zone. With Garcia throwing a lot in that area, that's where he's kind of missing right now, is that Garcia, again, these are two sides of the same coin. Garcia has struck out 6 batters and has allowed no hits. That's great. The only base runners he has allowed are 3 walks, and if you're the Lightning, you got to think that if something strikes, if Sicklerville gets a couple of runners on, Garcia could be in trouble. Strike called on a green light, 3-0. Or I guess you could say, excuse me, a red light that time. 3 balls, 1 strike. Brings it back. This will be the 6th time Sicklerville gets hit with a full count versus the right-hander Brian Garcia. He had his first 1-2-3 inning of the night in the 4th with a fly out, a ground out to first, and a strikeout. Low, ball 4, and the runner's aboard for McNone. Now Rivera the batter. That's the break that Sicklerville needed. I mean, you talk about no hits, now 4 walks in favor of your squad. Just got to be able to put the ball in play. I mean, they've only put the ball in play 5 times all game. Twice in the 2nd, once in the 3rd, and twice in the 4th. Every other at-bat has ended in a strikeout or a walk. And we're already about 1.5 rotations through the order. Rivera with low. 1 ball, no strikes. Rivera and then Jagger Lloyd, the left fielder, to bat. Upstairs, that skips off of Kenelia's glove. And down to second goes Rivera. Skipping around the backstop area here in Haddon Heights. That makes it 2-0, and it puts a runner in scoring position. It's the first runner in scoring position for Sicklerville. The wind is picking up, and it is directly in favor of the pitcher. And Rivera with a big swing and a miss, 2-1. Again, 59 degrees today. It was briefly sunny, but not for very long, as clouds have encompassed the surrounding area here in Haddon Heights. Outside, umpire shakes his head. It's 3-1. Outfield shifted to the right for the left-hander Wadi Rivera. Payoff. Swing and a miss. And it'll be 3-2. All right, we're not perfect. Now here's the 3-2. And that's ball 4. How about that for an announcer's jinx? Puts 2 runners on. That's walk number 4. We talked about if you can get a couple of runners on, could change everything. And now this is what they've got. Infield meeting briefly. Right now, Brian Garcia, center of attention here in the championship game. Nearing the halfway point of this game. We're in the top of the 5th inning. And Sicklerville looking to strike first. They still do not have a hit. But Garcia has now allowed 4 walks. And really all you need is to put something in play. You watch the Cleveland Guardians. They play something called Guardians ball or guards ball. It's not easy to master, but it's a skill. Small ball. Lloyd fouls it back. It's 0-2. But that's the thing, is that you don't have to hit the ball all that hard. Moore is at a line drive base hit today, and he's reached on an error, but everybody's loose right now. And with the tensions not really there, but the intensity through the roof. Here's the 0-2. Lloyd, right field, heading towards the line. It drops for a fair ball. Here comes the runner from third. Coming in is Mignone, and he scores. 1-0 Sicklerville. And the Phillies lead it on an RBI single. As Jagger Lloyd produces when asked, and it's 1-0 in the top of the 5th. Our first run of the game, the first hit for Sicklerville. After 4 innings of dormant offense, it now sets up Ethan Gardner with 2 on and nobody out. The right-hander Elian Seda is warming in the Lightning bullpen, 1-0. Taking a look at that replay again of the base hit. Just Lloyd didn't really swing all that hard, and then it drops right there. Runner came around and was able to make it happen. 1-0 Phils. 2-0 is up high. Keneally almost lost it, and it's 3-0. Three balls, no strikes. Garcia. Gardner wasn't even thinking about swinging. He nods in acknowledgement of the strike call in the inside corner. It's 3-1. 3 straight runners have reached. Mignone has scored. Rivera's on second. Lloyd on first. Gardner gets jammed. It's fouled down the left field line. The count is full. And again, Garcia not only has been walking a lot of batters, he's also been striking out a lot of batters, which means that these at-bats go X number of pitches. As we mentioned, this is now the 7th time today that Sicklerville has had a full count in their at-bats. You do the math, 7 times 5, that's a lot of pitches for Brian Garcia just in that chunk alone. That's ball 4. 5 walks, bases loaded, and panic may set in for the Lightning if they do not correct course. With finally some signs of offense, time is called. Garcia now squatting around the mound, going to try to figure out his deal. It's the second mound visit, and in a championship game, there is no margin for error with no other lane to go. They will call, they're going to actually wave, Garcia's going to wave off his dugout. He wants to stay in the game. Again, this isn't like a Lou Piniella situation where you've got to scream at your manager to get in. Garcia wants to stay in this game, and team gives him the confidence. The only thing I was confused about was that I thought that if you had a mound visit for the second time in an inning, the pitcher had to be taken out, but they seem to waive that. Bases are loaded. Garcia's first pitch is low. Almost hit the umpire that time. Bases are loaded for Pat McCann Jr. McCann grounded out softly the short in his first at-bat to end the second inning. It was a nice play by Luis Vargas. Nicholas Mermanesh on deck. 1-0. Oh, that one hit him. That one got him right in the shoulder blade, and another run scores, hit by pitch. I mean, now what decision do you make if you are Sicklerville or if you're South Jersey Lightning? I mean, Garcia wanted to stay in the game. I don't really know if I'd give him a choice at this point. His control is just really all over the place here. Vargas talking to his man. The second baseman going over, and they will call for the right-hander. Elias Seda will come in. Donovan Schmidt coming over from left field to talk to his player. And he shakes the hand of Brian Garcia, but more or less says, hey, your time is up. And Brian Garcia heads to the dugout after 4 innings of work. A bit of a shorter outing than we would have expected from Garcia, but his day ends with 6 walks and 6 strikeouts in 4 innings, and he allows 1 hit, but now 2 runs are on his watch, and the bases loaded might bode a farewell. 2-0 Sicklerville. Bases are loaded with Seda coming in. We'll be right back. Top of the 5th inning, Sicklerville looking to break this game open. They lead it 2-0 over the South Jersey Lightning here at Edward Fitzgerald Field in Haddon Heights. Elias Seda, the new pitcher. Seda comes over for Garcia. Seda, 6 appearances, 5 wins, 36 innings pitched. He's only allowed 19 hits and only 4 runs, a 1 flat ERA. We talked to Donovan Schmidt before the game. And again, the manager said that Seda would come in if necessary, but he had the confidence in Brian Garcia, and eventually that just kind of withered away. It's 1-0. 5 straight runners have reached for the Sicklerville Phillies, an epiphany for the visitors, as it's 2-0. Seda also no stranger to free passes. He's allowed 16 of them this season, but 6 total. As 3 walks this inning alone. This inning started with McNone walking, and then Rivera walked. Lloyd singled. Rivera called everybody off, and then another walk and another hit by pitch ended Rivera's day. So 3 walks, a single, and a hit by pitch, and we're now 3-0 for Seda. I mean, this is kind of like your Madison Bumgarner in 2014 Game 7. Bring in a starting pitcher who doesn't have a lot of experience in relief, and let it happen. Let it fly. See what you can work with. That's ball 4, and another run comes in. Lloyd will score from third as a 5-pitch walk. The more things change, the more they stay the same. It's 3-0 Sicklerville. They have now scored twice on bases loaded, either hit by pitches or free passes. And the Lightning, most certainly, are in trouble. Strike called. Seda just needs to get into a rhythm. I don't even think that he needs to do too much to do that. I just seriously think that he needs to get it settled. I think what's going to be extremely important for him is taking his time, because not everybody can do that. There is no pitch clock here, and I'm sure that, you know, there will be there are sometimes repercussions if you take a little bit too long, but he's just got to settle in. That's really all it is. Strike called to Chin. 1-2. But finally, a sprinkle of offense. We talked briefly to the Sicklerville dugout, and Waddy Rivera told me, he said, we're going to try to get some offense for you. That's exactly what they did. 3 runs, still nobody out, but that's a swing and a miss. It's the first strikeout for Elias Seda. And there's one away. Brandon Chin down. Now it's the manager, Velez Medina. One away. Bases loaded. Here is Anthony Velez Medina versus the right-hander Elian Seda. First pitch. Low. That's something that these batters are watching for. We talked about how plate discipline is going to be a huge factor for Sicklerville. And that's just how it is. 1-0. Strike called. 1 ball, 1 strike. Velez Medina, the 11th hitter. Up and in. 2-1, donning the bright pink Victus bat. He is the 8th batter of the inning. It's been station to station. Only 1 hit out of this offensive barrage. It was a bloop single to right by Jagger Lloyd. Ethan Gardner is the runner on third. Strike called. Ethan Gardner on third, McCann Jr. on second, and Mermanesh on first. But as it stands, 4 walks this inning and 1 after Seda came into the game. 7 total free passes by the Lightning pitching staff. Time called. We'll have a 2-2 count. But a lot of smiles in this Phillies dugout. But they have to defend this. The Lightning already spring champions. Well, the Lightning are not spring champions, but they were the fall champions last year. Now looking to make it happen again. 2 balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. Back-to-back Ks for Seda. 2 away. I mean, even if they don't get anything here, they still got 3 runs, and they still scored a run off of Elian Seda. So as much as it might be frustrating, I mean, you've got Luke Gardner, the pitcher, looking to help his own cause. Here's Gardner, first pitch. Swing and a miss, 0-1. Some folks filing in on this Sunday morning, about 10:30 a.m., mostly cloudy here from Haddon Heights, 59 degrees. A typical fall November morning. And the 0-1. Checked it. They say no. 1-1. And no appeal was asked from Keneally Ivor. It looked like that pitch was high, so I think he would have been okay either way. Gardner is somewhat of a tall figure, so have to adjust for that. Strike called, 1-2. And with the sounds of fall, the sounds of baseball settling in, this game finally with a sprinkle of life. 3-0 Sicklerville, bases loaded. And the 1-2 from Seda is up high. Kind of lost his grip on that one. Newcomb on deck with his catcher's pads on in case he has to bat. He's got the bases loaded and 2 outs. 2-2 to Gardner. Breaking ball outside. Count should be full here. The Lightning with plenty of work to do. They've been woken up. They bat 10-1-2. Seda, Van, and Moore. Payoff. Strike 3. Gardner watches it, and the inning is over. Seda comes into the game. He allows a bases-loaded walk, but then strikes out the next 3 batters. And after all of that, the 9-batter nightmare is over. 3 runners come in to score. one on an RBI single by Jagger Lloyd, and then another on 2 bases loaded walks and a hit by pitch. But Jagger Lloyd opens up the scoring here in Haddon Heights. The Phillies lead 3-0. Bottom of the 5th inning, this broadcast is brought to you by the Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators, or Dog Pro Wrestling. The Dangerous Adrenaline Wrestling Gladiators are New Jersey's premier pro wrestling organization with high-flying events and non-stop entertainment throughout the Garden State. For booking and information on future events, visit dawgprowrestling.com. Elian Seda, the batter, 10-1-2. Misses low. Seda, Van, and Moore are the 3 batters for the Lightning as they now trail 3-0. Kind of finally some developments here in Haddon Heights as we were scoreless for the first 4 innings, and it looked like this was going to be stoked for a back-and-forth pitcher's duel, but now Luke Gardner in line for the win if he pitches one more inning. Swing and a miss, 1-2. Also would be in line for a quality start as well with the 5-inning mark. I mean, he's just been fantastic so far. 7 strikeouts. Actually, he's up to 8 now, and now he's up to 9. Luke Gardner picking up K after K. And Luke Gardner now strikes out Elian Seda for the first time today, bringing us back to the top of the order for Jordan Van. Jordan Van 0 for 2, strikeout looking, and a ground out to second base. Skips well low that time. 1-0. Gardner with 9 strikeouts. 7 of them in the first 3 innings, but has had at least 1 strikeout in every frame so far today. Up high. Decent crowd in the stands, but also a decent crowd at home. Got about 30 of you watching. We almost set a DWB record on Saturday. We had 646 people watching the Shalleck and Paulsboro game. Could imagine maybe some of you were tuning in for that. I mean, we had some great viewership this weekend. Not to brag, but yes to brag. 4,700 views in our Salem-Glassboro Friday night game. And then right now, 3,700 for Shalleck and Paulsboro. That's our last playoff game of the year. We've just got tune-up football and Thanksgiving from here on out. Up high and away. Jordan Van takes ball 4, and he reaches base. That is Gardner's first walk. He has allowed a hit by pitch and 3 hits, along with 3 errors. So it's been a mixed bag. He's allowed a handful of base runners, but the Lightning have left all of them aboard, as evidenced by the goose egg on the scoreboard. First pitch to Omar Moore. He's reached base twice. A line drive single in the first and an error by the third baseman in the third. But yeah, what a rebound for Sicklerville. 3 errors in the field. Looked like the Lightning were just going to run all over them, as now a quick throw to first, not in time. I think I heard somebody in the Lightning dugout call for a balk, but I don't know if I've ever seen a balk called in a men's league game. Throw back to first. I remember one time somebody called a balk in a Little League game, and the parent of the kid that was pitching genuinely didn't know what a balk was. Moore, center field. This could drop. It will drop in front of Browning, and it's a base hit. 2 runners aboard for the Lightning with 1 away. And now Sicklerville's offensive barrage may be negated here as Gardner allows his 4th hit. Moore, to be fair though, Moore has been the best hitter off of Luke Gardner today. He's 2 for 3 rather. But he's reached base all 3 times, and he's tagged Luke Gardner every time. Even on that E5, if you go back and rewind the tape, that was a liner to third base. It was a hard hit ball, and now the Lightning have the tying run up for Max Worsta, one of the most powerful hitters in the Lightning organization and in South Jersey NABA. Here's Worsta. He's 1 for 2. One 0. Grounder foul down the first base line. It's 1-1. Velez Medina talking to his pitcher Gardner. He asks for a new baseball, and he dropped it. Kind of funny there. He asked for a new baseball, and he drops it. One ball, one strike. Gardner with his first blemish of the night. Worsta foul over our heads and towards the municipal building. Or that's actually not even the Haddon Heights Municipal Building. That's the Public Works Building. I've dispensed many old electronics in that electronics recycling center. It's actually pretty unique, or not unique, but pretty neat. Because that's the closest place where I can find an electronics recycling center. Worsta on the ground. Sliding is Napoli. Throw across the diamond is well wide. And the bases are loaded. That'll be an infield single. Napoli's throw just could not hit the mark. And the bases are loaded for Donovan Schmidt. Just when you thought Sicklerville was ahead, the Lightning look like they may be striking back. Worsta running over, a couple of raindrops coming down. A couple of pop-up showers are looking like they're moving north from Gloucester and Salem County. They're going to hit here at around 11:30, if not sooner. And that's the last thing this game needs is rain, but that could be coming. Looks like just on our forecast that it looks like it's going to be very light showers, and then it's going to hit us at around 3 o'clock, but we'll be well out of here by then. Here's the first pitch to Schmidt. Schmidt pops it up, and it's foul. 0-1. Again, what a moment this would be for Donovan Schmidt, the player manager, a co-commissioner of this league, to play hero. Schmidt, right field, down the line, going over. There's 3 players converging. It drops. Here comes Van. He scores. Moore holds up, and the Lightning are on the board. It's 3-1. Donovan Schmidt, station to station. And a base hit down the right field line. 3 straight hits off of Gardner, and it's 3-1. So Van scores. Moore to third, Worst at a second, Schmidt to first. 3 straight singles for the Lightning. And how appropriate that as soon as the Lightning start scoring, the rain starts falling briefly here. And it's 3-1 as Napoli talks with Gardner. Here is Luis Vargas. He's 0 for 2. He struck out twice today. Luis Vargas, bases loaded, 1 away off of Luke Gardner. The right-hander staying in the game. Away, 1-0. One ball, no strikes. Vargas foul, 1-1. One ball, 1 strike. Luis Vargas versus Luke Gardner. Wait, no, he did not go for it. Moore will hold. Now there's a backup on the bases. Schmidt's going to go back to first. And that throw is trapped by Rivera. A lucky break for the Lightning as they got backed up. Moore held up at third, and with the bases loaded, it turned into a logjam. But we remain where we are. It looked like it tipped up. It looked like it hit Newcomb on the hop, skipped way up in the air off of the chain link fence, and then went down. And Moore decided to hold. The 2-1. Up and in. Vargas rolling to the floor. He'll have to put that jersey in the laundry tomorrow. It's 3-1. He's stepping out. Kind of had to regather himself there after he went down. He wasn't hit, but just asked for more time. But he was darn close to getting hit. 3 balls, 1 strike. Gardner shakes off his catcher. And he steps off. Now we've got a backup. Pace is entertaining the idea. He's got nowhere to go, but he whiffed on it. Now he's going back to second base. That's mind games to a 10x level. As Shaheen Pace looks like he whiffed Tyler Napoli, rather. Wow. That's unbelievable. Moore was at third, and then Pace was at second base. Moved over to third. And now Vargas with a 3-1 count. Struck out twice today. Swing and a miss. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, or rather, 1 out. Oh, 2-2. No. I don't know what I'm doing anymore. Here we go. Bases loaded. Strike 3. Vargas down on strikes for the 3rd time. 2 down. What a break And if the Lightning get a run, but it's limited there, again, when they left the bases loaded in the third, they've already left 7 runners on. Another 3 would make it 10 base runners left aboard in the first 5 innings. 2 outs, bases loaded. And the pitch. Senior fouls it back. It's 0-1. Michael Senior, a hit by pitch and a strikeout in this game. One. Again, just sometimes you can hear a pin drop, and other times you can't believe what you're seeing or hearing. 1 ball, 1 strike. Got a piece of it. Might have hit it twice there. It's 1-2. One ball, 2 strikes. 2 outs. Bases loaded for the Lightning. Phillies looking to limit the damage. And the 2-strike pitch. Fouled back. Senior stays alive in the at-bat. One ball, 2 strikes. Senior the batter. Tying run on second. Go ahead on first. Misses inside, 2-2. Just so difficult here. A situation like this, it's never easy. Whether it's Game 7 of the World Series or Game 1 of 1 in a Sunday League, Men's League championship, it's never easy to be in a situation like this, no matter where you are on the diamond. The 2-strike pitch. 2-2, got him! And the Phillies do limit the damage. They allow 1 run on Schmidt's RBI single, but we stay with a Phillies lead. We're through 5 in Haddon Heights. It's Sicklerville 3 and the Lightning 1.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Welcome back, top of the 6th inning. 2-0 to Newcomb to start. We have had some rain coming in, so we had to grab said rain gear as Newcomb, center field. Moore is there. He's smoked that ball twice now, but he's flown out twice. One away. Yeah, this light rain looking to expect to hold for about 20 to 30 minutes. Doesn't look like it'll be anything too drastic. But as it stands, 3-1 Sicklerville. They scored thanks to a 9-batter inning in the 5th. 2 runs scored on bases loaded walks. Actually, 1 run scored on a bases loaded walk. A second run scored on a bases loaded hit by pitch. And the first run scored on a Jagger Lloyd RBI single. 1-0 to Jarrett Browning. Browning 0 for 1, a walk and a 3 unassisted ground out in his second at-bat for the left-hander versus his first time versus Elian Seda. Browning gets jammed. It's out to third, moving into the infield. Van fires a throw, and Senior's got it. 2 away. That was a nice play by Van over at third for what it's worth. I mean, moving in, again, the rain, it's not pouring, but it's enough to make the ball a little bit slippery there. Not exactly ideal. And he comes in here and he got jammed that time. You can see where that ball landed. Van goes over, moves right towards the middle of the infield, almost on top of the pitcher's mound, and gets it. 1-0, the count with 2 away. Napoli 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. Looping curveball misses, 2-0. First 3 for the Lightning in the bottom half of the 6th will be Ruben Justiniano, Shaheem Pace, and Pete Cornelia. Fouled back, 2-1. Swing and a miss by Napoli, 2-2. Seda with 3 strikeouts so far. Seda, 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs, bases empty in the top of the 6th. Phillies up 3-1. Low, count is full. And this is what's interesting about men's league baseball. It's 10:58. We've been here for an hour and 58 minutes, and we're only in the top of the 6th inning. Men's league baseball is a slow-moving affair. And Napoli takes ball 4. Takes confidence to have that stride on ball 4, but he took it, and he's got it. Free pass by Seda. And Napoli finally reaches after 2 strikeouts and also having somewhat of a dismal doubleheader versus the Lightning when we saw them in October. And how metaphoric. A leaf falls next to home plate. Some rain forcing off these leaves. By the time Thanksgiving comes around, these trees will be bare and winter will have set in. And then you can defreeze Mariah Carey and Christmas time will be here. 1-0. But baseball truly never stops. I mean, you could seriously watch baseball for 365 days straight. Major League Baseball spring training starts in early February. And, of course, all of that runs through the end of October into early November. And during that time, there's so many different levels to watch. There's the major leagues. There's the minor leagues. College baseball starts in early February. High school baseball, at least in New Jersey, starts last week of March. Here's the 1-2. Inside. But the point is that baseball really does never stop, because once Major League Baseball ends, you have little things like this, but you also have the Caribbean Winter Leagues, stuff in Mexico, Puerto Rico, Dominican Republic. This one's popped up. McNone over towards first. Senior's backpedaling. He doesn't see it. Now he brings it down. Kind of an exasperated call at the end there, but he's got it to end the inning. Sicklerville leaves the runner on thanks to a 2-out walk for Tyler Napoli, as we go to the bottom of the 6th. It's the Phillies 3 and the Lightning 1. Welcome back here from Haddon Heights. Brandon Chin, the new pitcher for the Sicklerville Phillies. In our first time covering the Phillies this year, he set a DWB record by striking out 10 batters in relief, the most of any relief pitcher in DWB baseball history, in over 200 games nonetheless. But Chin is the real deal. He loves to pump the fastball, and he's got such an erratic delivery, almost Tim Lincecum style. But we'll see what he's got in store, as the first batter he faces is Ruben Justiniano, who's 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts. He has only seen 6 pitches today, all strikes, and 4 of them swings and misses. That's strike number 7 and pitch number 7 against Justiniano. 7, 8, 9, Justiniano, Pace, and Cornelia. The 3 to bat. Puts it in play. Second base. Mermanesh throws to first, and it's in time. Looks like Jagger Lloyd moved to second base that time. Apologies there. It's 1 away. So Justiniano did put the ball in play, but just not in the way that you'd like, and now Shaheem Pace will be the batter. Again, Chin is just going to hammer that fastball until kingdom come. Swing and a miss. 1-1. Two balls, 1 strike. Misses low that time. Big thing for the Lightning, though, is that when you're facing Brandon Chin, it's better to be early than to be late, because that fastball velocity is really going to take away any chance that you have. His Pace, center field, calling for it, and making the catch is Mermanesh. Out number 2. Pace tagged that ball pretty well, like he did 2 innings prior in the 4th. But now it'll be Cornelia. Strike called. No balls, one strike. Chin low. To Cornelia, 1-1. Pete Cornelia, the lead singer in a heavy metal band called Last Words, as a strike is called. They recently released a single called Disease. It's a nice tune. Check it out if you can. Here's the 1-2 outside. That one's floated out to right field. That one's hit pretty well, though, and backing on it is McCann to end the inning. 1-2-3 for Brandon Chin, although shockingly didn't strike anybody out. Lightning put the ball in play 3 times in a row. We go to the top of the 7th. It's the Lightning 1 and the Phillies 3.
May is Mental Health Awareness Month. It is the responsibility of all of us to make sure that our friends, family, and anybody who we hold dear in our lives is feeling well. The problem with spotting mental health issues is that the symptoms aren't that obvious. Just because someone is okay or appears okay on the outside doesn't mean that they're okay on the inside. It's important that if they are in distress, that they call the right people and they get the help that they need. And it is very important that we treat each other with respect, regardless of who you are or where you come from. But it is just as important that we treat ourselves with respect, regardless of the situation going on in our lives. If you're in distress, you can call this number, 988, or you can visit any of these websites if you're not in distress, but would like to learn more information about mental health awareness and research.
Six innings down, Wady Rivera the batter versus Elian Seda. One ball, no strikes. Rivera, Lloyd, and Ethan Gardner, the 3 to hit for the Phillies. Up and away. A late appeal to first says no. Big swing by Rivera, and he misses that time. Rivera facing Seda. 4 strikeouts for him tonight. Inside, I say tonight, even though it's 11 a.m. 3 balls, 1 strike, top of the 7th inning here in Haddon Heights. Rivera fouled it back. It actually landed. It hit in the tree. Look at all the leaves coming down. It hit the tree and then ricocheted its way back onto the field. Sada to 3-2 to Rivera. Inside, ball 4. And a leadoff walk starts the 7th for Rivera. Here's Jagger Lloyd. We were talking about in this game, every run matters, and Sicklerville's 3 runs are coming at a premium right now, with the Lightning only getting 1 run across. Inside. And now Sada, who had 16 walks in the regular season, in comparison to Garcia's 26 walks, you now have a situation where Sada has garnered some issue as well. He's walked 3 batters. Strike called. One ball, 1 strike to Sada. Lloyd pops it up. This one's in play. Straightaway left field. Hit it better than we thought he did, and Schmidt makes the catch. 1 away. So Lloyd flies out to left, and now it's Gardner. Top of the 7th inning, Sicklerville leads 3-1. Low. 1 ball, no strikes. Sada with a peripheral glance at first, and he steps off. One runner on. Three balls, no strikes to Ethan Gardner. The 3-0. Strike called. And that one's ball 4. So now Sada seems to have the same issue that Garcia had, even though he came in the game as an antithesis to Brian Garcia. And he came in as a solution to Garcia's 6 walks. But Ethan Gardner reaching, Sada now with 4 walks, and Pat McCann, who was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded, he's responsible for the 2nd run. Sicklerville has scored. 2 on, 1 away. McCann takes a strike on the inside half. 0-1. The 0-1. Well outside. 1 ball, 1 strike now to McCann. Another strike called. 1-2. Whoa, that one's well high. Both runners break. And Cornelia will hang on to it. Runners on second and third. 2 in scoring position for the Phillies. And the Lightning, 9-0-2. 2 ties this season, 0 losses. Now looking like they could be in trouble. When the Phillies scored 3 runs in the 5th, it was a warning sign. And now there's strike 3 called as McCann brings the Lightning back to a little bit of forefront semblance. It's the 10th strikeout by the pitching staff, as now will be Mermanesh in the 9 slot. Nicholas Mermanesh, the pitcher Brandon Chin on deck. Mermanesh, line drive, foul! Down the left field line, that looked like the right call as it just went to the left of the third base bag. Without having a third base umpire there, that's a difficult call to make, but that looked like the right one as it's 0-1. Chin on deck, Mermanesh the batter. Looping curveball by Seda, keeping that velocity low. It's 0-2. Mermanesh dealing with a runner on third in Rivera and Ethan Gardner on second. 2 walks this frame. Seda looking to get out of the jam and to keep this game 3-1. Mermanesh, that hit Mermanesh as he swung, and it's a foul ball. That looked like Mermanesh coming out of the box in the path of his swing. It might have hit him in his left foot or thigh, or left foot or lower leg, excuse me. No balls, 2 strikes. Top of the 7th in Haddon Heights. The 0-2. Swing and a miss. Foul tip. And Cornelia hangs onto it. The inning is over. Elias Seda gives up 2 walks, but nothing more. And it's stretch time here in Haddon Heights. Bring out your organ, bring out your piano. It's time for the bottom of the 7th here in Haddon Heights. 3-1 Sicklerville. Stretch time in Haddon Heights. Brian Garcia is now batting in place of Elian Seda. Strike called. 0-1. So Seda, Van, and Moore. It's 11:20 a.m. and again, this is a game that feels a lot like the baseball games of old, where there's a lot of not a lot of movement, let's just say. That's the one thing that I have mixed feelings on, is the pitch clock. I think a lot of people are very impulsive and don't like change. And as a baseball traditionalist, I definitely don't like some of the new changes made as Garcia strikes out. Chin picks up his first K, and there's one away. Bring us back to the top of the order for Van. But the point is that, some of the changes that, like the ghost runner, not really a fan of. The pitchers not batting in the NL anymore. I understand why. I'm just not a fan of it, but that's because I'm a little bit stubborn. Strike called, 0-1. The one thing that I have mixed feelings on, though, and I'm not entirely against, is the pitch clock. I think that there's a happy medium to it as Van fouls it back onto the opposite field. The Little League field down there. 0-2. Chin with a strikeout to start the 7th. Shakes off Newcomb. Newcomb on one knee. The 0-2 upstairs. Van and then Omar Moore. 2 for 2. He's hit Sicklerville pitching better than anybody today. As Van dribbles it right in front of Chin. He throws it to first, and it's in time. 2 down in the 7th. So Moore, the batter, 2 singles and an E5. And Max Worsta on deck. We were told by Donovan Schmidt that Nick Worsta, Max Worsta's brother, will hit in place of the 5-hitter Luis Vargas. But that hasn't come around yet, and that may not come around until the 8th if Moore doesn't reach. Which he has all 3 times today. 2 singles and an error. Now a ground ball out towards second base. Lloyd is there. That throw a little bit wide, but he's able to bring it in with a snow cone on the glove. He's retired and the inning is over. We go to the 8th. Only 6 outs remain for the undefeated, not undefeated, but unbeaten South Jersey Lightning at 9-0-2. But the Lightning lead this one, rather the Phillies lead this one 3-1.
Book Dog Pro Wrestling for your next event or outing for the greatest action that New Jersey Pro Wrestling has to offer. Any place, any time, any setting, Dog Pro Wrestling will bring the action to you, and you won't want to miss it for moments like this. But don't just take it from me. Take it from Max Mundo, the Dog Pro Wrestling ambassador.
This is Max Mundo with Dog Pro Wrestling. Are you a civic organization, sporting club looking to fundraise? Then look no further to Dog Pro Wrestling. We do grand openings, corporate events, and much more.
And why not from some of the wrestling talent themselves?
I'm Vinny the Fixer, and I'm the champion of Dog Professional Wrestling. If you want to book the best, come see us. We're the cream of the crop. We'll come to any fundraiser you can think of. Just name the place and we'll show up.
This is the upstanding Dylan Mesh, and for the entirety of my professional wrestling career, dog wrestling has been a mainstay for where I like to wrestle. So you can believe me when I say that it is quality. And I'm upstanding. I'm the only opinion you need.
Yeah! It's your boy Gabriel Hodder here with my man Matthew Oman. And if you want your events to be all fight, no flight,
Then book Dog Wrestling so you can witness true primal fear.
woo!
Seven innings down. Elias Seda, the pitcher. Brandon Chin, the batter. First pitch is low. 1 ball, no strikes. The Phillies lead this one 3-1. All scoring in this game has happened in the 5th inning. It's like we kind of hodgepodged our scores together, and then we let it be. 3 runs for Sicklerville in the top of the 5th. Lightning got one back in the bottom half with a Donovan Schmidt RBI single, but there hasn't been any movement since. Chin takes high. He's 0 for 2 with 2 strikeouts. It's the bottom 3 in the order. Chin, Velez Medina, and Luke Gardner, the pitcher. That's a 4-pitch walk. And Chin gets aboard on what is the 5th walk by Elian Seda. Again, Garcia had 6 during his tenure, and that was enough to pull him from the game. Seda now up to 5. And plate discipline, we talk about swinging the bat being important. Well, not swinging the bat may be the reason why Sicklerville could win this championship for South Jersey NABA. That one's up. Throw back to first on a back pick, not in time. But if you take away all runs that are scored that were not on hits, it's a 1-1 game. Sicklerville's edge came because they had, they had the bases loaded walk and the bases loaded hit by pitch. This one's popped up foul. No clue where that one was going to land. One ball and 1 strike. Runner goes. Ball inside. Throw to second. 1 hops, not in time. And Chin advances to second on the stolen base. Again, in spring, the Lightning lost in the wild card round to the South Jersey Diamondbacks 11-6. This game a lot lower scoring, where every run comes at a premium. Velez Medina swings and misses, should be 2-2. The sun starting to peek through here this morning in Haddon Heights, just shy of 11:30 a.m. in the top of the 8th inning. Here's the pitch. Popped up, first base side. Senior will not chase it, and it's out of play. Two balls, 2 strikes to Velez Medina. Low. That looked like that hit Cornelia that time in the arm. With the catcher so protected with his gear, it seemed to hit the one part where he wasn't. And the count's full. Three balls, 2 strikes. Seda steps off, throws back to second aggressively on 1 hop. That was close, but Chin is safe. And if you're counting at home, this is the 9th time that Sicklerville has had a full count today. They've had plenty of them, including 7 in the first 5 innings. It has not been easy. 3 balls, 2 strikes. Velez Medina fouls it back. AVM on the swing. Looking to get something going. Three balls, 2 strikes. Looping curveball, line drive, off the glove, it's a fair ball. That was just inside the bag, it's fair. And Anthony Velez Medina with an infield single puts 2 runners on. Another close one down the line as it skipped up off the glove of Pace. And now runners are on first and second. Elian Seda in trouble now for the pitcher, Luke Gardner. Gardner 0 for 2, 2 strikeouts, both looking. One with the bases loaded as well. So now he's in a precarious spot with nobody out. He shows bunt. That was a nice drop. It just dies in the grass. Seda's throw gets away. Here comes Chin. He will score 4-1. 4-1 Sicklerville, our first run since the 5th. Luke Gardner gets a bunt down, helps his own cause. Even though he's not even the pitcher anymore, he helps the cause of the Phillies. Makes this a 4-1 game. He might have been able to get him out at first. We'll score that in E1 in our book, but still, that'll count for a run. And Chin, the actual pitcher, coming in to score. Velez Medina down at third. And now Sicklerville back in a groove, getting maybe a weathered Seda here. Velez Medina with a quick adjustment at third. Umpire stepped out of the box. We resume, or at least prepare to resume. 4-1 Sicklerville, top of the 8th inning. Here is Matt Newcomb. Strike at the top half. Up and away. 2-0. Newcomb 0 for 3, but he has tagged 2 good fly balls to deep center field. Sicklerville has the left-hander, Wadi Rivera, throwing, looks like maybe a plyo ball, not really officially warming up yet, but he's getting there. There's a ground ball, it's in play. First base, senior, backhand, he's gonna throw to the plate. Velez Medina is out. He's out at the plate. And it remains 4-1. Runner to third. The runner does get aboard, but they throw him out at home. And the score remains 4-1 for Jarrett Browning. We'll take a look at that replay real quick. Again on the ground ball here. Oh, that's close. We'll have to get another look at it in a couple seconds here. First pitch to Browning. Upstairs, 1-0. All right, so let's slow this down one more time here. Just looking at this play coming home. Oh, the fence is in the way. I think Cornelia got him, though. Umpire was on top of that one. Now Browning pops it up. Nobody's really home over there. Schmidt came in. Vargas is there. Now we've got a log jam. The throw goes to the third base dugout, and here comes Gardner. He scores 5-1. What in the world happened there? There was an out. Was there an out recorded? Because, yeah, Browning is out. No clue. But now it's just runner on first, and 5-1. 2 outs. We're going to have to look at this another time because even this was very complicated and a little bit confusing. Seda still in versus Napoli. 1-0. Runner goes to second, not really contested as Newcomb gets in there. Runner now goes to third. That throw is not in time. Back-to-back stolen bases for Newcomb, the catcher. It's not often you see a catcher swipe third base, but he did it right there, with Sicklerville looking to extend their lead, already up by 4 runs. 2 balls, 1 strike. Matt Newcomb now on third base in a 5-1 Sicklerville lead off of the relief pitcher, Elian Seda. Inside, 3-1. Newcomb's going to be run for at third base with 2 outs, and of course him being the catcher, and you might forget the fact that he's a catcher considering the fact he just stole second and third base. Ball 4. Napoli walks for the second time today, and he is making a turnaround after 2 strikeouts to start. It's now Luke McNone. Umpire wants a balk there. Second base umpire calls a balk, and the run scores. Home plate umpire didn't call it, but the second base one did. And now Mermanesh, the runner on third, will score. And Napoli gets up to second. And it's now 6-1. How about that? Throw back to second, gets away. It goes into center field. Heartbreak for the Lightning. They move the runner to the third now for Napoli. And McNone has even more to work with now. Keneally asking the third base dugout for more game balls. The umpire ran out. Sicklerville getting more from their dugout. Quite literally having to take it out of the plastic. So 6-1. 3 runs for Sicklerville in the 5th, and now 3 more in the 8th. And even then, in pure Sicklerville fashion, all in unusual ways. First pitch called inside to McNone, 0-1. First run came on Gardner's E1, a bunt back to the mound. And then Browning got run number 5 on whatever it was in the infield that happened there. And then Napoli walks, and Newcomb gets the score on a balk. Strike called. Looks like 1-2. Low. 2-2 now. Two balls, 2 strikes. and make known. Ground ball hit off the mound. It's a one-hopper at second. Throw to first is in time, and a good recovery to end the inning and retire the side. We go to the bottom of the eighth. Sicklerville just made a high hill to climb for the Lightning, even higher. It's 6-1 going to the bottom of the eighth in the NABA AAA Championship. Bottom of the eighth inning, 6-1 Sicklerville. They lead the Lightning in the South Jersey NABA Championship game as Worsta swings and misses, and it's 0-1. Sicklerville added on 3 runs, all in different ways, including an error in the infield, an RBI error, well, not an RBI, that's an oxymoron, but an error on a bunt back to the mound by Luke Gardner. Just a lot of action this morning and almost afternoon. It's 11:42. Welcome to no pitch clock baseball, where you almost have a 3-hour game. Worsta, hot shot in between third and short. Napoli on a slide. He can't get it. Goes right through to Jarrett Browning in left field. And the Lightning have life, at least for now, with a leadoff single by Max Worsta. And with Donovan Schmidt batting, should be noted Vargas being pinch hit for with 3 strikeouts today by Nick Worsta. And speaking of Max Worsta, looks like Omar Moore is going to run for him at first. From what we were told, the pinch running rules here are pretty much as lax as you can get. Last batted out, which in the case of this was Moore. Schmidt has had the only RBI of the game for the Lightning. Had an RBI bloop single to right in the bottom of the 5th, and prior to the top of the 8th inning, the 5th inning was the only scoring we had. 3 for Sicklerville and 1 for the SJ Lightning. Schmidt winding back into it. Throw back to first, not in time. Six to 1 Sicklerville in the bottom of the 8th inning. Chin looks over in peripheral. That one is low. Newcomb looking back at first base but doesn't move. Here on a mostly cloudy Sunday afternoon, the sun has popped out at different times as that ball skipped away from Lloyd at first, but Moore gets back to the bag. Didn't really give him much of a shot there. Schmidt foul. 1 ball, 2 strikes, nobody out. Chin versus Schmidt. A great battle here. Throw back to first is a little bit high. Jim with an aggressive throw off of first. As we mentioned before, in a game where Sicklerville tied South Jersey and the Eagles 6-6, Chin had 10 strikeouts in relief. Low, throw to first. It's going to skip away into right field, but Moore holds. Again, just a really conservative approach here. No need to be all that aggressive. Low again. Schmidt over to second base. It's off the glove of Mermanesh. Throw to first. Ooh, I don't know there. They called him out. They'll say Schmidt. Schmidt's standing over at first. They're talking things over here, Newcomb and Chin. We'll grab the replay of that one. Now that's a tough one, but Schmidt holds at first. First pitch to Nick Worsta misses. So 2 on. Nobody out as Schmidt singles in the infield. Outside, good take by Worsta there. Michael Sr. will bat next. Hitting beyond the third base dugout in the on-deck, well, not really in the on-deck circle. On-deck circle is wherever you can find one. Hit by pitch and 2 strikeouts. That one is low. And Brandon Chin, who did so well versus the South Jersey Eagles a couple weeks ago in the regular season, now has championship implications. Moore dancing off of second base, returns to his position. And Worsta takes a strike. Sunday morning baseball here in Haddon Heights in the bottom of the 8th inning. 2 runners aboard. Schmidt on first. Moore on second base. Three balls on him, and he gets a strike there. Count is full. Usually the Lightning pitchers have been the one to put a full count on the batter, but instead it's the other way around. 3 balls, 2 strikes, nobody out. Velez Medina moving in at third, waiting for a grounder. Swing and a miss. Worsta swings himself into an out as he strikes out swinging. It's the first out of the 8th. And now Michael Sr. will bat with 1 away and 2 on. Strike to Senior. So after going down 3-0, the right-hander Chin able to force his way back with 3 straight fastballs. Now Senior fouls this one over our heads. Well, we could very well be seeing championship implication baseball on the way. It's 6 for Sicklerville, 1 for the Lightning, and then in the top of the 9th inning, Sicklerville will have presumably their last chance to pad the lead. And if I'm Sicklerville, if I'm the manager, Anthony Velez Medina, you have so many difficult decisions to make. Brandon Chin is rolling. Wadi Rivera was warming up. This one popped up back behind the plate, and it's going to land foul. It looks like it hit the tree leaves, and it's 0-1. Yeah, that one got popped straight up in the air by Rivera, and it looked like it clipped one of the trees on the way down. Not really an easy play for Cornelia. And some more rain coming down. It looks like almost like a sun shower. Low. 1-1. Rivera, Lloyd, and Ethan Gardner. With the Phillies up 5. Up and a little bit in, 2-1. Fouled back by Rivera, counts 2-2. No outs for Rivera to lead off man. Jagger Lloyd next. Lloyd started off the hitting parade with an RBI single. As Rivera, with the rain coming down, gets it out towards left center field. Vargas is there. It's one away. Again, you can see remnants of the sun shower. You can definitely see the rain coming. A little surprising. We were just about to take down our rain gear thinking it had passed because I see blue skies above me, but below us it's raining. Not below us, but on the field below. So Rivera pops out to short. And this ball control might be an issue now that the rain is coming down a little harder. One ball, no strikes. Hot shot, shortstop. Vargas boots it, and that'll be an error. It's the second error by the Lightning. And now it will be Ethan Gardner, the EH. Now dealing with traffic, a runner on first, and one away in the 9th. And we were told we'd have some rain around 11:30. Popped up third base side. Over to the third base side. Luke Gardner's got to be your player of the game. I mean, for a championship MVP, 5 innings, 11 strikeouts, and a perfect setup for Brandon Chin to close it out. There's a strike. It's almost poetic seeing the rain fall on the Lightning, even with the sun shining. Runner goes, but Gardner fouls it down the third base line. One ball, 2 strikes. to Ethan Gardner off of Elian Seda. That's a little dribbler. Vargas could have a chance for two. Flips it for one. Throw to first is in time. And the Lightning strike twice. 6-4-3 double play. And with the rain falling, the game now hitting the 3-hour mark, this is a long one here in Haddon Heights. It's noon time, and it's championship time. It's the Phillies 6 and the Lightning 1. We'll be right back.
In life, the road ahead is full of possibilities, but to navigate it safely, you need the right skills. Harper Driving School is the premier driving school serving Gloucester, Salem, and Camden counties. With experienced instructors, many of whom are teachers in local schools, we are dedicated to your success and will help you master the road with confidence. With an over 95% success rate of students passing their road test on their first try, you know your student will be in good hands while embarking on a huge step of their young adult lives, all while avoiding the lines at the DMV and getting insurance discounts.
We chose Harper, and so should you.
Well, folks, it comes down to this. We have aired 74 baseball games this season. And like I said, if you told me in our first game of the season, Immaculata versus Rutgers Camden back on February 22nd, that our last baseball game of the year would be November the 9th, I wouldn't believe you. But over 250 hours of baseball later, it comes down to the Sicklerville Phillies up by 5 over to South Jersey Lightning. The rain looks like it's mostly dissipated as we were in break, and Brandon Chin faces the Salem grad, Shaheem Pace. It's foul, and it hit off of the face mask of Newcomb. If Sicklerville wins, your championship MVP would be Luke Gardner. He set the stage perfectly for the Phillies. 5 innings, 11 strikeouts, and just 4 hits. I mean, 11 Ks in 5 innings is nothing to scoff at all. There's a strike called. Pace kind of wincing at that, knowing that he could have had something there, and it's 0-2. Swing and a miss. It gets trapped by Newcomb. He'll walk out of the box, and it's 1 away. 1 down in the bottom of the 9th for Pete Cornelia. I mean, this might be the worst time for the Lightning to bat their bottom 3. But Cornelia does have a hit. He's 1 for 3. He fouls it back. 0-1. Again, our next broadcast will be on Tuesday, November the 11th in JUCO men's basketball, a standalone game between the oh, that hits off the umpire and the catcher there. It's 0-2. But between the Union Owls and the RCSJ Roadrunners, a men's basketball standalone game, tip-off at 6 p.m. Wednesday, Thanksgiving tune-up football. It's an NJSIA crossover between the Audubon Green Wave, my alma mater, and the Pittman Panthers. Kickoff at 6 o'clock in Pittman at Davis Field. That one's low and away. Friday night, it's youth football in Voorhees, between the Haddon Township Hawks and the Eastern Vikings, 7 o'clock kickoff from the Eastern Vikings Junior Field. 1-2 from Chin. Ground ball foul. Somebody over there batted the ball down while it was foul. That takes some skill, doesn't it? But Cornelia down 1-2 in the count. Sicklerville's videographer waiting on the first base side for the inevitable celebrations if the Phillies win this one. Remember when we saw Sicklerville versus the Lightning just across the street at the 8th and High Field here in Haddon Heights, couldn't believe how much better Sicklerville is playing today. They had 8 players in their first game. They have dressed 15 today. And they are now 2 outs separated from a championship. Cornelia lines it to left, but they're not done yet. The Lightning get aboard with a base hit off the bat of Pete Cornelia. A liner to left by Jarrett Browning, or to Jarrett Browning, and Pete Cornelia gets aboard with 1 away in the 9th for Brian Garcia. They will run for the catcher with Shaheen Pace, the last batted out. That's just a great piece of hitting right there. 2-strike count, fouls a couple away, and then makes him pay with a liner to left. It's Cornelia's second hit of the game. Garcia gets a strike, 0-1. 0 for 3 in the 10 spot combined. This is Garcia's second at bat. Sato was 0 for 2. Garcia's now 0 for 1. That pickoff throw gets away, but they hang on to it. But Sicklerville with a full roster. As we said, they've got their media here. We've got ours. In an exhilarating Sunday finale. As Garcia swings and misses. Throw down to second is wide. It gets past both runners and into center field. Got past Mermanesh and Napoli, but the runner holds at second, not willing to go any farther. And Pace into second base. Looks like the rain has stopped entirely, at least for now. No balls, 2 strikes. And the pitch. Wow, Garcia swung through it. His bat didn't stay in his hands, and there's 2 away. And Sicklerville's 1 out away. Last chance, top of the order, Jordan Van. Sicklerville has struck out 17 batters as a combination. As Van pops it up foul, it's 0-1. 11 by Luke Gardner and 6 by Brandon Chin. We mentioned a few weeks ago versus the Eagles, he struck out 10 in relief in a 6-6 tie. They were 5-5-1 in the regular season. They knocked off the Eagles by a score of 9-4 to make it to this championship game. The 0-1, low, 1 ball, 1 strike. A lot of antsiness in both dugouts. Honestly, not even that much in the Lightning side, just trying to let everything settle as the count's 1-1 to Jordan Van, the leadoff man for the Lightning of South Jersey. Chin looks back aggressively at second, delivers, low, 2-1. But what a way to end our last baseball game of the year. An exciting game that has had Sicklerville as an underdog. Again, this is a winner-take-all. A 1-game series, not even a series, to decide it all. And Chin steps off. Van called time late just as Chin was getting ready to start his delivery. 2 balls, 1 strike. Chin to Van. Strike called, 2-2. 2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs in the bottom of the 9th inning. Brandon Chin versus Jordan Van for the Sicklerville Phillies to occupy their ring finger with some hardware. The 2-2, poked by Van, foul. This has been a long game, even longer than the last Lightning playoff game we covered, which was 3 hours and 1 minute. This is now up to 3 hours and 9 minutes. A long affair. Baseball is a game that waits for no one, and a game that will knock you down time and time again. Chin, the 2-2. Grounder. Back towards the mound. It goes past Chin to second base for Mermanesh. He will not have a play. Now he's running back to third. Mermanesh will not throw, and Pace will hold, and the Lightning are still alive. Infield single for Jordan Van in his 5th at-bat of the day. And in an act of desperation, Newcomb comes out. Wonder if Wadi Rivera is going to come in here. Velez Medina comes out to the mound, the player manager, and he will take the ball. No, he will not take the ball. Chin is staying. I think they're letting this play out a little bit more. Again, Chin has had a good track record. This is just a light blemish on him. I mean, a light roller. But this is the man who has hit Sicklerville's pitching the best. Omar Moore, 2 for 4, has reached base twice on 2 hard hit singles. Swing and a miss. You can just see in the vigor in Moore's swing how aggressive he can be. 2 singles, 1 in the 1st, 1 in the 5th. Reached on an error in the 3rd inning. So he's reached base 3 of 4 times. Runner goes. This one's hit out towards left center field. This could split the gap for Browning. Going over, and he's got it in center field. And the Sicklerville Phillies will win the South Jersey NABA AAA Championship by a score of 6-1 on a line drive to left field. And the Phillies hog the mound. And a 4-inning effort by Brandon Chin seals it. A little bit of drama at the end with a fly ball to left center field. But bringing it down. And the Phillies bring the house down. They upset the Lightning on the road, a team that beat them handily in a doubleheader earlier this year that we were there for. And the Phillies win this one by a final of 6-1. Player of the game easily, Luke Gardner. 5 innings, 11 strikeouts. Just wow, what an effort. In a 17 strikeout effort, I mean, listen, if you're the Lightning, you can blame a lot of things. You can blame the fact that you left 13 runners on base in this game, 10 of them in the first 5 innings. Could have blamed the fact that when the Lightning had, bases loaded in the 5th, only got 1 run out of it. But instead, the final score is 6-1. Sicklerville, funny enough, I'm looking at their stat sheet, and I'm like, they've got 6 runs, but only 1 hit was an RBI. It was only an RBI single by Jagger Lloyd. Everything else was either on errors, walks, hit by pitches, or fielder's choice. It was a little bit of everything. And holding the trophy, holding the silver home plate, Ethan Gardner. Ooh, hold on here. He's upset. There's a little bit of banter afterwards. Again, the Lightning angry in defeat there. Sicklerville will raise the home plate as NABA AAA champions. They give the MVP trophy to Luke Gardner, same as we have. Still some chatting going on there. With Jordan Van over there. Kind of stood there at the end of the group picture, and his teammates were holding them back. And Jagger Lloyd trying to de-escalate there, and I really don't see that too much, but an interesting way to end the game. Group photo for the Lightning, or rather group photo for the Phillies. Stay tuned for the post-game show presented by Harper Driving School. We'll be back in just a moment. Welcome back. Player of the game, post-game show presented by Harper Driving School. The MVP, rightfully deserving of it. We picked him before the game even ended, but it was honored to Luke Gardner. 5 innings, 11 strikeouts, and just 4 hits in your start. Sicklerville combined for 17 strikeouts this morning versus the South Jersey Lightning. And this is a game where you guys came in after getting swept by the Lightning in the regular season contest. You guys obviously dressing 15 players today really helped. First of all, let's just backtrack out of all of that. How'd you feel out there today?
Felt good. You know, our bread and butter all season was the pitching. That's kind of our go-to. So we came in ready to shove and then let the bats do what they do.
And certainly, you guys certainly had a great performance out there. Like I said, you had 11 Ks, Chin had 6. You guys just seemed to really work together as a combination. But what did you feel was different about this game, besides the players that weren't there last time, the players that showed up today? What felt different when you guys beat the Lightning today as compared to the regular season?
Just felt like the boys came out ready to play. You know, obviously you said we had our full squad today, so morale was high. Everybody came ready to go. And then after I came out, Chin did a great job, and we had Waddy Rivera coming in after him. If we needed him, we were ready to go.
It almost looked like it, but listen, I mean, it wasn't a perfect thing. You know, Lightning left 13 runners on base, but your defense backed you up, even coming through 3 errors to do so. When you had those bases loaded jams, what was your mindset going through in terms of just getting out of it and going through the motions? Because it's not easy in a championship game to get out of those jams and to get everything out of your head. How did you kind of squash those?
Yeah, I mean, emotions get high there, but I have faith in my guys behind me, so I know all I got to do is do my thing, have them put it in play, and the guys behind me are going to get it done.
And then finally, what does this mean for you and your team? Obviously, a championship means a lot. We could ask anybody the same question, and they'd give the same answer, but this being so much more meaningful considering that the Lightning were 9-0-2, hadn't lost in the regular season, beating teams left and right. They beat the Phillies in the regular season. Now you come in and you win by 5 in the championship game on the road. What does that mean to you and your team?
Felt like we had a Field of Dreams run going on. This was our destiny. It was promised to us. We just had to get it done.
I appreciate it. Luke, thank you very much. We're going to close with our DWB little tradition. We're going to have you sign the bottom of the scorecard. Just make it nice and big anywhere on the bottom. For our 74th and final baseball game of the year, we did the math. Over 100,000 of you watched our DWB baseball games this year. I'll show that cameraman signature as well, as that's some great stuff there. But, Luke, thank you very much. Best of luck. We wish you luck in the spring.
Thank you very much. Check out Mikey Lemon on Instagram.
There you go. All right, so Luke Gardner, your player of the game. That'll be all for us tonight as well. It's 12:20. We were here a lot longer than I really expected, but just because of how intense and how long this game was. Sicklerville didn't have any runs until the 5th inning when they scored 3, and the Lightning struck back with 1 run in the bottom of the 5th, but that was really it. After that, you had 3 more runs going forward. And listen, Men's League Baseball gets chippy. It got chippy during the championship presentation. I can't say I've seen that before, but you see something new every day. Point is, this was a great game. I think Sicklerville really showed that they are here to stay, and they really showed that they are going to be a mainstay in South Jersey NABA, because what makes teams want to stay? Teams winning. We saw some teams shut down because they just weren't winning. If you can win, you can stay. And the South Jersey Lightning, they certainly know how to win, but they've now had back-to-back campaigns, the spring season losing in the wild card round, and now the fall season losing in the championship. It's not an easy pill to swallow if you're Donovan Schmidt or the Lightning, but we should see how the spring of 2026 comes around for the SJL crew as we go into the next year. Thank you, everybody, for tuning in to DWB Baseball. Like I said, from February to November, baseball really never stops on DWB. I think you saw on our Instagram we announced the South Jersey Starting 9, a new Dan Wilkins Broadcasting podcast hosted by myself and David Cohen of Rowan University. That will be uploading every Tuesday, not this week, but next week. And then we've got a lot more baseball content throughout the offseason as we get ready for the spring of 2026. From our entire crew, our social media coordinator, Haley Mejia, our graphics crew, Gavin Van Rel, Caleb Lane, and Carson Rosso. I'm Dan Wilkins. We'll see you on Tuesday for JUCO basketball in Gloucester County between the Union Owls and the RCSJ Gloucester Roadrunners. Sicklerville wins the South Jersey NABA AAA Championship by a final score of 6-1. Have a good one, folks.